What's going on, y'all? It's Jackson with We Major Anime, back for another Naruto video. So, yeah, another one. It's what we're doing. So there is lots of groups of 9 in anime, and a lot of famous ones. You got the 9 Hashira, the 9 Titans. But today we're going to be talking about, in my opinion, the most polarizing of them all, the 9 Jinchuriki. Now there's a lot of strong groups in Naruto. You got the Uchiha, the Senju, the Kages, but none of them have jack shit on the most powerful group of people in Naruto, the Jinchuriki. The people who control the tailed beasts, the strongest beings on the planet. So let's talk about them. We're gonna rank and explain them. At number 9, we got Fu and Chome, the Seven Tails. Fu is a shinobi village hidden in the waterfalls. And she's kind of like the one exception to the rule that everybody hates all the Jinchuriki. The leader of the hidden waterfalls actually had everybody be extremely nice to Fu. So she's a super sweet girl. She got some cool powers, but I mean, when it comes to Jinchuriki, she's definitely not the strongest one. She has the hiding and scaled powder technique, which she breathes out like a glitter substance that blinds opponents and slows them down. She also has webs that she can create to heal her comrades, as well as slow down enemies by catching them in it. Fu's able to manifest Chome's wings, because Chome's like a dragonfly or some shit like that. Why they made a dragonfly with tails, I'm not really too sure. However, Fu can manifest the wings on her back, making her a much faster, giving her quite a speed advantage over any typical shinobi. With this combination of different types of powers, it really helps her specialize in her surprise attacks, which she is most known for. However, we don't get to see a whole lot of it in the anime. She can also do something similar to the Yamanaka clan, which is communicate with her comrades through telepathy from wherever. She doesn't have to talk to them. It's honestly really impressive and a really rare feat to come by, because that is not something you see every day. I mean, do y'all know someone who's telepathic? Probably not. She can also manifest a version 2 cloak. However, she cannot fully transform and cannot fully control Chome. At number 8, we have Yugito and Madatabi, the Two Tails. Now, we don't have a whole lot of information about them because we didn't see them too much besides a little bit in the war arc when she was reanimated with all the other Jinchuriki, which was low-key so fucking cool. Moving right past that. She was actually looked up to by Killer Bee because they grew up in the Cloud Village together, and when she went under a really difficult training in order to be able to control Madatabi. She didn't have full control over Madatabi, however, she could fully transform into it. I guess tailed beasts probably don't have genders, do they? We're gonna go with it, or they, them. We're gonna be politically correct. They, them. Madatabi and Yugito have easily probably the grossest abilities out of all the Jinchuriki. Madatabi specializes in fire release. Along with that, Yugito also specializes in fire release. Their main thing is flaming fur balls. No, I did not say that wrong. It's gross. They basically, Yugito will cough up a fur ball and shoot it at you, and it's basically a fireball jutsu with coughed up fur. Yugito can also grow claws out of her nails on her hands and her feet, which is also a little gross. But this, with her cat-like speed, it really helps her with her taijutsu, which she is definitely very strong in taijutsu. That's pretty much about what she can do. So let's move right on to number 7. Utakata and Seiken, the Six Tails. Utakata's arc was one of my favorite filler arcs. It was just entertaining, especially at the end when he just gets jumped by Pain. I thought that shit was really cool. I'm a huge fan of Pain, by the way. But that shit was really cool. And Utakata's got some pretty cool abilities as well with his soap bubble ninjutsu. First off, he can sense strange chakra in anybody. He can even sense when people are molding chakra, making him almost like a pseudo-sensory type ninja. His soap bubble ninjutsu allows him to create bubbles with soap and water using his little bubble blower relic thingy. And he can use these in multiple different ways. He can make them explode on contact or just whenever he wants with the little cuts like fucking Datara. I don't know, it was kind of uncreative for them to just like copy Datara's technique low-key, but it is what it is. Utakata's still a pretty cool character. He can use acid or ink bubbles to immediately trap and kill opponents on impact. If you get trapped in an ink or an acid bubble, you're fucking dead. There's nothing you can do about that. Imagine just getting caught in a bubble and it turns to acid, you just fucking melt. How would that make you feel? I don't know, there's probably some cucks out there or something that would like that, but we're just gonna move right on past that. He can also fly around undetected, concealing his chakra and in a bubble of defense. So he'll fly around in this little bubble. His chakra signature is completely hidden, and it protects him from attacks if he does get spotted. It can withstand the blast of a paper bomb, I believe. He can control a version 2 cloak all the way up to 6 tails and even suppress the hidden jutsu Fury. And if y'all don't know what Fury is, it is probably one of the most deadly forbidden jutsu in the anime. It's basically just you release a bunch of Nacer energy out of you and you can just wipe a village off the map like nobody's business. It's actually absurd. It's so broken. And I don't really quite understand how he was able to suppress it. I guess plot armor or something for the girl he was protecting, Hotaru. Either way, it was super cool. He's a pretty powerful shinobi himself. He was also able to take out 2 paths of pain, as well as put pressure on the Deva path, which is Pain's strongest path, and damn near almost put him into a corner. Up next at number 6, we got Roshi and Son Goku, the Four Tails. And yes, Son Goku is named after Goku, and also Son Gokun from Japanese folklore. They specialize in lava release, which is the combination of fire release and earth release. One really cool thing that they can do is, like Madatabi and pretty much any Uchiha, they can shoot fireballs, but they're lava balls. So basically it's a fireball, but it's sticky and it'll stick to you. They also have lava armor, which is honestly just the most perfect blend of offense and defense. Like if you get touched by that, you're burnt, and if you touch it, you're getting burnt. It was even able to burn Naruto in his Kurama Chakra Mode cloak when he punched Roshi. Absolutely absurd defensive skill. It's crazy. On top of that, they've been together for over 40 years, so they have a very strong connection. They were even able to make Kisame actually try in battle, which is something that is just so rare. I think the only person who ever actually made Kisame try, off the top of my head, besides Roshi, was Guy when he opened up to the 7th gate. So, I mean, if that doesn't tell you what you need to know, then I don't know what does. He can also undergo a full Tailed Beast transformation, use Tailed Beast Bombs and all. For those of you who don't know, Son Goku is physically the strongest by a mile of all the Tailed Beasts. During the War Arc, he was even able to literally pick up Gyuki, the 8 Tails, and just fucking toss him into next month. This shit was crazy. You gotta think about how big a giant octopus Tailed Beast is. It's absurd. And Gyuki's not weak himself. He's one of the bigger and stronger Tailed Beasts. So, I mean, take that as you will, man. All right, coming in at number 5, we got a pretty underrated pick that a lot of people don't really know much about, and that is Han and Kokuo, the 5 Tails. Han is a shinobi from the village hidden in the stone, and my god, he's something else. He is 7 foot tall, and he is known to be the fastest shinobi in the world thanks to his steam ninjutsu. They specialize in boil release, which, what do you think boil release is? Think about it. I'll wait. You guessed it, it's fire and water release combined. Not that hard to figure out. If you didn't figure that out, then I don't know what you're doing. But regardless, so there's steam ninjutsu. So Han has basically like a giant furnace on his back that he uses to make steam, which that steam he uses to heat up to his chakra to a boiling point, similar to the 8 gates with Might Guy when he opens the 8th gate to make his blood boil. On the other hand, though, it doesn't kill him. It comes to a lesser extent. It doesn't go to the same extent as Guy, even though Han is considered faster than Guy, at least while he was alive, and I'm sure his reanimated version was faster too. So yeah, he is able to fully transform into Kokuo as well. Kokuo's main power is just sprint at somebody and fucking headbutt him. I don't want to take a headbutt from Kokuo. I don't know about anyone else out there, but shit, man. Coming in at number 4, we got Yagura and Isobu. Now, if those of you who don't know, Yagura is the 4th Mizukage responsible for creating the Blood Mist Village, which is a period of time where he was under the genjutsu of Tobi or Obito or Madara, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He's got so many names, I can't keep up with them. But either way, he got put under a genjutsu because Obito was mad at the Mist Village for killing Rin or like causing Rin's death or whatever. So he was like, let's fuck up the Mist Village. So he decided to put their Mizukage under genjutsu and basically have them destroy each other from the inside out. But let's get into their abilities. Yagura gave Itachi a real run for his money. Like, he almost killed Itachi. He killed Itachi's first partner, Juzo, who was the original owner of the Executioner's Blade before Zabuza. He survived an Amaterasu, his whole body was getting burnt. Nobody survives an Amaterasu, but somehow Yagura did. Now, granted, he was gravely injured, but survived it nonetheless. He is able to manifest a version 2 cloak all the way up to the 3 tails that he has, and he can fully transform into Isobu. And Isobu's power is basically very similar to the Akimichi's, where he just turns into a ball and fucking rolls at you. Now, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna stop that roll, so I mean, that's pretty powerful, even though it doesn't sound like all that much. He also has a technique from Isobu called Coral Palm, where he can just attach coral wherever to whoever or whatever he wants and immobilize or even kill his opponent. He had it on Naruto's back for a while during the war arc, and it was really slowing him down. It's definitely not something to be messed with, because I mean, he can just manipulate your body at that point. If he attaches coral, you're like basically screwed unless you're someone like Naruto or something remotely close to that level. He's also able to create water mirrors, which are very similar to Itachi's Susanoo's Yada mirror in the fact that they can deflect all ninjutsu. The only difference is that Yagura's can actually deflect that ninjutsu back at you, so your attack basically attacks yourself. Guy's a hard guy to beat, man. I mean, he's a Mizukage, he's all powerful and a Jinchuriki. Like, what are you gonna do? There's not many people standing a chance against him. Now, one Jinchuriki who definitely can stand against Yagura is Gaara, along with Shukaku, the One Tail. Gaara's big thing is magnet release, even though he doesn't really use it that much. Magnet release basically make the sand that he's using more dense or less dense depending on how he wants to use it, but he got it from his father and he hates his father, so he doesn't like using it. He has his ultimate defense, the sand soul of his mother, which is basically his dead mother just follows him around everywhere and protects him. And this defense is so powerful that it's actually stronger than Sasuke's Susanoo for defense. And Sasuke's Susanoo is said to be the ultimate defense. Apparently Gaara's mom, that's the ultimate defense. Imagine just having your mom walking around you as a ghost all the time. Like, well, imagine you're trying to get in some cheeks or something, your mom's just following you around as a ghost. How would you feel about that? I personally, that's gonna be a pass for me, man. I don't know. Gaara can control the sand on his gourd and send it down into earth to create more sand for him to use. We're able to see this through his use of sand burial when he made the giant wave against Kimimaru and all of them and just did a giant sand burial. As a genin, that shit isn't crazy. Gaara also has basically unlimited chakra because it's believed that he might be part Uzumaki, and if y'all don't know about the Uzumakis, they have more chakra than anybody in the show, including the Senju. He defeated Rock Lee, who opened up to the 5th gate and took his massive ankle weights off and injured him so bad that Tsunade told him he could never be a ninja again. Man, them 8 gates aren't anything to mess with. So the fact that Gaara was able to like defeat Lee in that state is actually absurd. He also protected the entirety of the village of Suna, the sand village, from Deidara's giant bomb attack. He just threw a bunch of sand up there and suppressed it. That's pretty impressive considering he saved his entire village. However, Deidara and Sasori kind of mopped him up real quick. Had to get kind of plot armored back to life by Granny Chiyo, but that's besides the point. That just made him stronger. He ended up becoming the 5th Kazekage and the general of the allied shinobi force, meaning he was in charge of the battle. He was able to defeat the 3rd Raikage, the 3rd Kazekage, the 2nd Mizukage, and the 2nd Tsuchikage, who were 4 of the strongest shinobi to ever live. Now, granted, he did this with the help of Naruto's shadow clone, but that's a shadow clone. Like, that's like, I mean, it's very helpful, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, Gaara was putting the work in. Absolutely. You don't want to fuck with Gaara. He can also fully control Shukaku and fully transform and use tailed beast bombs, and his taijutsu was said to be on par with Naruto's, and Naruto is one of the best taijutsu users in the entire series. So saying that Gaara's taijutsu is on par with Naruto's is really saying something. You know who else's taijutsu is probably on par with Naruto's? Killer Bee. Yes, baby, let's fucking go. It's time to talk about Killer Bee and Gyuki. So Killer Bee, for one, is one of the fastest people alive. He was able to react to Minato's flying Raijin, which is instantaneous teleportation. Minato teleported behind him, and Bee was able to get a knife to his gut. Immediate reaction, which is absolutely absurd to think about. He's arguably the best swordsman in Naruto with the 8 sword style. He mocked up Sasuke and the rest of Taka like it was nothing. Basically killed Sasuke 2 times during that battle. But we all know Sasuke's got the plot armor like nobody else in anime ever. It's crazy, but I mean, it is what it is. Sasuke's a powerful shinobi in his own, so like the fact that Killer Bee can just wipe him like that is really saying something. He's got his lightning style lariat, which is on par with the 4th Raikage A, his tag team partner technically, and his brother, which is absurd to think about because A is the fastest and potentially one of the strongest shinobi to ever live. He can fully transform into Gyuki and use tailed beast bombs and all that and fully control Gyuki. He was able to send a tailed beast bomb so strong, it was able to knock the 10 tails tailed beast bomb so far back it went back in its mouth. Imagine you're fighting somebody and someone hits you so hard you punch yourself in the face. That's basically what happened. That shit's like, you gotta be on another level of confusing type shit for that. He got the name Killer Beef from Minato calling him a killer shinobi who had all the perfect instincts of a shinobi, so he called him a shinobi killer. He fought 2 tailed beasts at the same time during the war. It is impossible to put him under Genjutsu because if you do, Gyuki's just going to disrupt his chakra and break him out of it immediately. He has limitless chakra due to Gyuki being with him. He can regenerate any part of his limbs if he's transformed if they get chopped off, which is absolutely absurd. He's like a lizard or something, or a gecko or an octopus. His chakra is so strong that Samehada left Kisame for him, and Kisame's got, they call Kisame the tailless tail beast. He ain't to be fucked with either. He's got some strong chakra to say the least. And his 8-sword style was so effective, he was able to slice the Executioner's blade in half. All right, coming in at number 1, you knew it was coming. Our favorite protagonist, Naruto, along with Kurama. Where do I even start with Naruto? He's got so many abilities, it's actually ridiculous. First of all, he mastered the Rasengan in a week. He's able to create almost like a countless number of shadow clones due to his almost limitless chakra being half Uzumaki, half Namikaze, which I really wish we knew more about the Namikaze clan. I might do a video about that sometime in the future now that I think about it. He was able to adapt the Rasengan into something his own for the wind-style Rasen Shuriken, which, that shit's crazy, bro. He is a perfect sage. For toad sages. He can do summoning for every toad imaginable. Even Gamabunta, the chief toad, he could summon the elder toads, whatever he wants. He's built different. This sage mode makes him an ultimate sensory ninja because he can sense malice from miles away. It makes his Rasen Shuriken stronger. He's got the ultra big ball Rasengan. He's got giant Rasengan barrage. And then his taijutsu, especially with Frog Kumite, is unimaginable. He's one of the best taijutsu users in the entire series. He can do a version 2 cloak. He can fully manifest Kurama. He can use tailed beast bombs. He took in all the parts of all the tailed beasts, so he can apply any chakra nature really he wants to his Rasengan or his Rasen Shuriken for that matter, making him just impossible to fight. On top of that, Kurama is stronger than every single other tailed beast combined, meaning for the 10 tails, Kurama accounts for about at least 50.1% of its power. His reaction time is faster than the speed of light, so yes, he would probably be able to react to Minato's Flying Raijin. He's faster than the 4th Raikage while he's in this Kurama Chakra mode, which is absurd because the 4th Raikage is the fastest person on the planet, said to be, and next would be Han and Guy. And then he's got a little thing called Baryon mode in his pocket, which he can't use ever again, I don't think, because, little spoiler for you, Kurama's gone, RIP, man, that shit was really sad. But Baryon mode is basically when he and Kurama collide their chakra together, creating energy so powerful that if he punches you, he literally halves your lifespan. So you got 10 years left, punches you, oh, now you got 5, punches you again, you got 2.5, and it'll just keep going until you die. Shit's fucking absurd. It is the most broken ability I've ever seen. It's just ridiculous. And on top of all this, let alone the stuff that I probably forgot, he has Hashirama cells in his left arm because he lost his left arm in his fight against Sasuke in the final valley at the end of the war arc. Naruto's unbeatable. The only person beating Naruto is the Sage of Six Paths, and the Sage of Six Paths is not alive. So if Naruto were to become the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, which I think is quite possible, he's gonna be God. He's gonna be God, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Alright, y'all, if you think there's anything that I left out, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And if you got to the end of the video, I appreciate you a lot. You clearly liked it, so please go ahead and throw a like on the video, subscribe to the page, turn on notifications so when we release the next one. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. Happy holidays. Happy Thought-a-days, baby!